Hmm. Yes,
You
ma'am.
attempted this examination, right, PT?
Yes.
So, can you please share your experience with others, like what all you did, how you went about, and how
Mhm.
eventually you got 90 or 90?
Sure. So, one thing is for sure that please follow the tips that ma'am has shared throughout religiously. So, I did include that in my practice throughout, in all the sections. Like right from dictation, you have to add extra words so that you don't miss out on anything. So, that really helps. And other sections also. So that is the first thing. Whenever you're practicing, please follow those tips and tricks. That is very important. Uh, During the exam, I noticed one thing which I wanted to share actually with everyone, that when I logged in and I started the exam, so if you have given the mock test, you'll know that it gives you a brief introduction of that section in the initial starting of the exam. So for my speaking section, there were two extra question types that were mentioned in that section that I had never practiced or seen before.
Okay.
So one was summarize group discussion, and there was another one which I don't remember the name now. But those two question types I had not seen earlier. So I also got naturally a bit nervous that what is this and how am I going to deal with it? I started preparing for it mentally, but I did not get any questions from those sections. So whatever we have or you are preparing for in terms of your mock test, only those questions will appear. I think that was just a tactic to make people nervous. But I wanted to share this experience because don't get confused. You will get the question types that you're practicing in the class. So
Now,
that's the only.
see, one major section here is like people ask that, do we get a tab or notepad? So, how was your experience when you got the tab, electronic notepad, how it worked and how, did you struggle with that part? Because Sunny did, Lalita did, they really struggled with that part. So, did you?
No, I'm not really. So what I was given was an erasable notepad and pens that was shared with me.
Okay, all right.
So it was basically a sheet of paper which was laminated. So you have to write on that paper using the pens and you cannot erase anything. So you have to leave it as it is. You cannot write anything on that piece of paper before you start the exam as well.
या बट उसमें आपको राइट करते हुए थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ? मतलब मैंने लास्ट जब एग्ज़ाम दिया, तो वो बहुत थिक था मतलब पेन और मतलब मैं वर्ड्स राइट ही नहीं कर पा रही थी। तो मुझे वहाँ थोड़ा-सा डाउट मतलब इश्यू आया।
So what I did is that I tested the pen initially. जब उन्होंने नोटपैड दिया और पेन दिए तो I tested it. What is my writing style? हर एक का ना
हुँ,
writing style अलग होता है. That
हुँ,
some people hold it very stiff, some people
हुँ,
hold it light. So you have to be light-handed to write it
ओके,
properly.
ओके।
तो मैंने वो पहले टेस्ट किया तो पहले दो पेन्स नहीं चले because I was holding it too tight.
हुँ,
Then I tried a bit light-handed. तो उससे then it worked fine. So I exchanged the pens also. I got
Can you
two new
explain
ones.
about the exam environment? How many people were there? How you went about? Please explain step by step.
Yes, so initially when you enter, they will allow you entry, I think, half an hour ago, half an hour earlier. My exam was scheduled at 5 p.m. So I got an entry at 4:15. So if you reach early, you can start early. That's a bonus point because you'll have less number of people around you. So you will get disturbed less also.
So while attempting questions, so what in the same order the way we did, like read aloud first and then repeat sentence.
Yes,
So
same order. I got around four read alouds and repeat sentences, I think, were around eight to 10.
all right.
Yes.
Arvinder, so yourself.
Yeah. So read aloud were easy. Repeat sentence were also easy. One was a bit difficult out of the entire set of 8 to 10 questions. It was a lengthy one. So even I could not remember the entire thing, but I spoke what ma'am told me that 8 words maximum you should speak. So that is what I followed.
Voice
And
intonation with the same voice intonation. You can just try and replicate the voice intonation. the script
Yes.
that they followed, right? Okay.
Yes.
How about your describe image? Did you get a picture or maybe some chart?
No pictures, ma'am, all
All
graphs.
graphs. Oh, wow.
I got three questions.
Okay.
So I think that's what they have done because now they have introduced a new rule, right? That human intervention is also there. That's why they are not sharing the. I've read reviews of other people also who have attempted in the recent days. So they also share the same that they nobody received a picture, plain picture.
Okay.
But don't depend on it. Do practice it because I practiced a lot because I was struggling with only pictures, no words.
Yeah.
So I had to practice that a lot.
How about retail lecture? One or two?
Retail lecture, I got two. Yes. And voice was very much clear. You can listen to it easily. But what I would like to say is that before you start your exam, check your microphone and headset thoroughly.
Important. Very important.
Whether you're able to listen to the audio being played, check it at least two, three times. And microphone also, you'll get like this one from the headphones. So adjust it one or two times and then, yeah.
Okay. And it would be counted as noise. Anyone
And
else?
also
Lalita,
don't
Aneja,
speak
please turn on your cameras. We should have that courtesy, right? Yeah.
and also don't speak too low because in some of the microphones I noticed that one other person was having microphone till here, the length was more, mine was a bit shorter. So what I thought when I got it was that I have to speak a bit louder so that it can easily capture
You get it? So you need to be mindful of these small, small things. Okay? Stay alert. Stay cautious of things around. Okay? Now, how
it.
about answer short questions?
Ma'am, before that, I'll share another funny experience what happened with me.
Okay.
So back to back, I got three describe images, and the fourth one, I got an image, which was a plain image, buildings in the background and sky and all those things. So I started preparing immediately for the describe image, and I suddenly heard an audio that was actually a retail lecture question.
Oh, okay.
So there was an image, and then I quickly read what's the above prompt above the picture. It said that you will hear a lecture and then you have to repeat everything. So they
Okay.
will try to confuse you this way that it's a describe image question. So immediately I had to switch my mind that, oh, it's not describe image, it is retail lecture. Start noting down.
मैम मेरा भी यहाँ पे थोड़ा इसमें लेस हुआ था।
Okay.
मेरे को भी यही फेस हुआ था।
Okay.
यस।
So see, they want to trick
Mhm.
you. So you should understand what kind of struggles can come, what kind of challenges can come in front of you at the time of examination. Okay. Then after this,
Ankit,
when you
just a
encountered
question.
that writing part, so how much
Ankit,
time
just
you
a
took in
question.
the writing part, Ankit?
Do we have some kind of headline like this is a describe image or lecture, retail lecture? I don't remember. I think I gave my exam in March.
No heading.
There is no heading as such.
No heading. Okay.
And I would say what ma'am said initially that don't read the prompt for every question because it will eat up your time also.
Yeah, definitely.
So immediately when a question pops up, you have to start preparing for it because you get very less time.
Okay. So see, when you did essay, Ankit, did that template help?
Ma'am, a lot. Yes. But before going to the essay, so answer short questions, I got around three to four questions. There was one question which said something like, "What is the answer to this?" I mean, I don't remember the question exactly, but then it gave two options: Japan or Canada.
Okay.
So I said both the countries in the answer.
All right.
So those kind of tricks also you can utilize. That will help a lot if you get that easy question. So at least you're getting full marks there.
All right, Lalita, clear?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Then essay, ma'am, I use the same template that you had shared initially.
How
So
much time took while writing the sentences in between?
okay, so I'll tell you what I did during my practice of the essay writing. So I did not learn it by looking at it. I learned the essay template by typing it. So don't look at the template. First, learn it, read it, learn all the sentences. Where are the blanks? So I typed the template in the box as it is, along with the blanks.
Exactly.
Once the template is completed, then I try to go back to the blanks and fill in my own
This is
sentences.
the ideal strategy because if you write parallelly, you'll get confused. First, you write the template and do proofread. Do
Yes.
proofread for any pronunciation mark errors, any punctuation mark errors or any grammatical range errors, right? And then you start writing in those blanks. Clear?
And
Hmm.
also, when you're practicing typing the template, start noting the time, that how much time it is taking you to type the template itself. So initially, when I started, it used to take me around 7 to 8 minutes. Then by practicing, I reduced it to 5 minutes, so that I'll have 15 minutes to think about what to fill in the blanks and then proofread the entire thing.
Get it? Right. Then, when you move towards reading, did you get the instructions?
Instructions as in?
Any set of instructions to go through?
Yeah, that was just like speaking section. You will get 1 minute to go through the reading instructions, where you'll have.
Did you go through them?
No, I just checked the question types because I had already experienced one in the speaking section where there were two extra questions types.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought I'll just quickly go through the question types and then click next.
That's the catch, guys. You are not supposed to read through entire set of instructions. Clear? You can quickly have a glimpse though, but not thorough reading required. We need to save our time. And reading
So,
demands a lot of time.
yes, actually. So this is what happened with me in the speaking section. When I saw those two extra question types, I started thinking like, what is this? I've never practiced this. How will I do this? Then I realized, oh, 10 seconds have already passed. We'll see how it goes. Let's go forward for now.
Okay, all right. So reading and
So,
writing was easy for you, Ankit?
yes.
Did you follow all the rules that I told you, that I mentioned in the
Yes, ma'am.
classes?
Even during the practice sessions, I've been following the same tips and tricks. So reading and writing, fill in the blanks, reading blanks. So sometimes I used to get questions during my mock tests
Okay.
in Alpha PT where you can fit in two words,
Right.
right? Like if you read the entire sentence, then two words are perfectly fitting each other. I mean, in that particular blank. So what I do is I used to keep them for the later part. I used to go through the remaining portion of the reading, fill in the blank, and then I used to fill in one by one the other blanks.
Yeah, yeah.
If one of them gets eliminated in one another fill in the blank, then I have an option. Oh, this fits here, and please.
Right? That's what we
Yes,
followed. Okay. How about reorder paragraphs?
I'm luckily I got the easy ones. Yes.
So, what do you think, Ankit? Reorder paragraphs require practice, enough practice?
Ma'am, I would say that practice it, but in the order of whatever you suggested, like the very, very important ones
Depends
first.
on priority. So, we should go
Yes.
by highest priority modules first. Okay.
And throughout my reading and listening, I had this in mind that I have to save time for my write from dictation. So when I was going through reorder paragraph, I was thinking that, okay, 1 minute has passed. Now I can just spend 30 to 40 seconds more and I have to go to next question. So keep that in mind for reorder paragraphs.
How
What
long?
about listening? What about listening? That is a tough part, I think.
Yes, we'll come to listening now.
So, reading
Yeah.
in the blank did, right? It was
Yes.
easy.
Yes, ma'am.
How
It was
many?
pretty easy.
Five,
I think five,
five. All right.
4 to 5.
How about multiple choice questions?
I did not spend time at all in those. So you cannot go to the next question until the entire audio is finished.
I'm talking about
So
reading part.
anyway,
I'm talking about reading part.
yes, yes, ma'am. Okay, reading part.
Multiple
Yeah.
choice
So
questions.
reading, right. So in the reading part, what I did is that I first read through the entire options that are provided. Then I went back to the actual paragraph, skimmed through it quickly, and whichever made sense, I selected that and went to the next question.
All right.
So again, not more than 1.5 minute.
And ideally, I recommend not to attempt those questions, specifically in the reading part. Because in listening, you get to hear to the entire audio. So you are,
Hmm.
your time is being eaten up, it's being consumed. So you don't have any option. Listen carefully. But in the reading section, you can skip.
Yes.
Only 1 mark, multiple choice, 1 or 2 marks.
So it will actually, that is the particular question that will eat up a lot of your time
Time as
in
well
the
as
reading.
you get exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay. Now moving to the listening section. Please explain, Ankit.
Yes, ma'am. Listening was again instructions. I just went through the question types and then I moved forward with the questioning. So MCQs, single option and multiple option, single answer and multiple answer. Again, I just paid attention to the audio and whichever made sense amongst the options that were provided, I selected that. I did not, once the audio is finished, I decided I'll take only 10 seconds to decide on my answer and move forward.
Okay.
That was my strategy, not more than that.
Okay. And how about fill in the blanks? Like, see, we did a lot of things, in our classes. We
Yes.
covered a lot of questions. So, did you
Hmm.
see any question getting repeated in your final examination? Were you that fortunate?
No, ma'am, not in. I did not see any of the questions that repeated for me. But it was easy for me because I practiced spellings a lot.
So, what
So,
all covered? Via the software one or the documents which I shared with you?
okay. So one thing was the document that is shared. That is one. Second is that when you're practicing in the software, so whichever question I'm getting the spelling wrong, I used to note it down. I used to create a list of it. Then the next thing what I did is I recorded that in my own phone by speaking those words, right? And I used to put on my earphone, listen to that audio, and write down the spelling, and then check with the previous record whether it's correct or not. So that's how I practice spellings.
You get it? It demands a lot of hard work. Nothing big comes easy, right? Constant efforts, consistently you need to work. Okay.
And there is one more thing. So if you ever notice, so when you're going through the software questions and you practice questions, you will see same question in the reading and writing fill in the blank or reading fill in the blank and listening fill in the blank.
Yes. A good catch, Ankit.
So yeah, so if you see any word in reading and writing fill in the blank and reading fill in the blank while practicing, which you don't know and is difficult in spelling, please note it down and know that spelling because it can come in your listening fill in the blank and then you'll know which word to fix there. For example, there was a word discant in listening fill in the blank. I wrote it as DISCANT initially. Same question I got in the reading fill in the blank and there it was DESCANT.
See, the point is, there are gentle movements, and there's a tendency that they can be repeated. So you should take into account every single thing that is coming on your way, especially the words which you're struggling with. You need to pen them down and practice. Like Ankit had his own strategy. Like he practiced via listening to the audio all over again and then writing. But maybe if you have some time crunch, you can write it there and then 3, 4 times and just
Yes.
revise it. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay, Ankit, then how did you resume forward?
So ma'am, after listening fill in the blanks, okay, one more thing. So when you get to the listening part, make sure that your headphone is not loose because even if it's a bit tilted, then you might not hear it properly. So you have to position and be ready with the position of your. It doesn't matter where your mic is going in the listening section, but take care of your headphones. That is very important.
Right.
Next, last
Then
was
listening.
dictation.
Yes. So
Some right spoken also.
Right
sorry.
spoken.
Summarize.
Just like retail
Yes.
lecture, summarized spoken. What did you do,
Okay.
Ankit, with summarized spoken? You wrote the
Oh,
template
yes.
all together and then you fixed in the lines?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
So what I did is, even during practicing in the software also, so you get a text box where you can write, so you don't need to take notes.
true that.
So when the audio was playing, I used to type those sentences in the text box itself, and then I used to rearrange it by adding the template.
What I tell,
So
right? So how you are
yes,
supposed to see if you are typing it somewhere else, or maybe you think that okay, I'll do it later. There's no point. What you can do while the audio is being played, you have the text box. Type the sentences which you heard, and then
yes.
you write the template and you incorporate those sentences into that template.
And I'll also tell you one more thing. So the keyboard that I got there was very different. I mean, not different in the sense of the placement of the keys, but it was hard to type than my regular keyboard that I'm used to. So even my typing speed was reduced. So if you practice now, summarize spoken text typing then and there, it will help you in your write from dictation as well. And your typing speed will increase while listening.
Very, we need to work on our typing. Ankit, you remember I told you we need to work on the typing speed?
Yes, ma'am.
Please do that. It matters a lot. And see, despite doing it, he struggled with the keyboard. Another tip is if you are functioning via your laptop, if you have monitor and keyboard, try practicing. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
right? What next, Ankit? Anything else? Like right from dictation, did you follow everything in the as for?
Yes, ma'am. I followed everything.
Okay,
So I added. So first thing I did is I wrote down everything that I heard in the audio. Then I read. Okay. One more point is that when you're listening and writing and write from dictation, some people tend to do is capital first letter should be capital. Don't do that in the beginning. Do that at the
yeah.
end when you read.
Even you are not supposed to write entire word. If it is government, write
Yes,
govt at that time.
that's yes, that's what I followed. So like department, I just wrote DEPT.
Yeah, because see,
So
you can correct it later. If you're doing it at that moment, you'll forget. We do not have robotic minds. It will go off. It will bounce off your head. Hmm? ऊपर से जाएगा सब. So Ankit, how long it took? Entire 2 hours?
no, ma'am. I sat down around. I mean, I started around 4:50. I was out by 6:10.
6:10. Oh, right.
That was the average time during my mock tests also. So it was almost the same.
Good.
Uh,
Very tempted though. But I would like to ask others, any other question you have? Any particular thing you have in mind which you want to ask? Because Sunny, you have already attended the examination before twice. Lalita, you also. And this is your last chance, and you're like, okay, otherwise I'll be done with it, right? So you might be having questions. Please ask.
Ankit, was repeat sentences was too long and very fast?
no, it's not fast at all. Uh, I got one question which was a lengthy one. So there I just followed what ma'am actually taught a trick that read through the entire sentence and get to know the sense